English 101 students, welcome to this video. This video is going to read through the essay number 1 topic for you. And this is a very, very important step before you begin any essay in any class. You want to make sure that you're responding exactly and precisely to the teacher's prompt, the essay topic. So here's mine. This is for essay 1, directions and read through. Now, of course, I have all of this on the Canvas page, so you can scroll down and look at that. But it's easier, I find, to read in a PDF copy, so I recommend downloading that. So what I'm going to do is go in here and download a copy. That way I have a copy on my computer. Save that copy and refer to it while I write the essay. All right, so this video is going to go through it with you. Here we go. Essay 1, directions. Using evidence in an argument, identify a problem in your neighborhood. Directions. Pick a problem in your neighborhood and prove it exists in a 4-paragraph essay. Okay, so there are a couple of terms we want to be aware of: problem and neighborhood, right? So we need a problem that exists because we're going to have to provide evidence it is real and not just something we're imagining, right? And so you want to pick a problem that's real, that people talk about in your neighborhood. And what's your neighborhood? Well, maybe it's the city block where you live, or maybe it's the town you live in, or maybe it's all of San Fernando Valley, or maybe you consider all of Los Angeles to be your neighborhood. That's up to you. You get to decide what your neighborhood is. In this essay, you will identify a problem in your neighborhood. It can be simple or complex as long as the effects of that problem have a demonstrable effect on your life. You will be interviewing other people in your neighborhood to prove this problem exists. Alternatively, you can also use newspaper articles to prove it exists. So if you don't want to go out and do interviews with your neighbors, which I totally get, believe me, you can quote from articles from newspapers instead. And this will show you how to find those too. In a 4-paragraph essay that follows the structure taught in class, identify the problem and prove this problem exists. You will have to provide evidence in your essay, and that means 4 quotes total, either from a neighbor or from a newspaper article or a combination of both. 2 quotes per body paragraph. Your evidence can be from any or all of the following: quotes from family and friends, quotes from neighbors, quotes from newspaper articles in a local paper. And to find those, you can use our college databases by clicking this link for articles. Be sure to pick a problem that interests you. We will be focusing on this problem throughout the semester. So this is important. Don't pick something just because. Pick something that you're interested in, you want to research. Otherwise, the semester will be quite painful. Now, the first thing I tell you here is how to write that thesis. So this is important for your assignment this week. As you recall from our thesis lecture, your thesis should have in 1 to 2 sentences what the limited topic is, what your side is, and how you know your side is correct. For this topic, it means what your side is going to be the problem you pick, and how you know your side is correct is how you know it's a problem. So here's a sample thesis that uses that formula. The biggest problem in Woodland Hills, right? That's straight from the topic. And notice that I've limited it, so it's not just a neighborhood, it's limited to Woodland Hills, is litter. And I know it's a big problem because whenever someone drives through the neighborhood, trash is visible on the sidewalks, lawns, and gutters. All right? So that can give us this sample thesis. The biggest problem in Woodland Hills is litter. Whenever someone drives through a neighborhood, trash is visible on the sidewalks, lawns, and gutters. That's our thesis. That's great. Be sure to go through these required elements. You need an intro paragraph with an intro hook that's 5 sentences minimum, and a thesis that's 1 to 2 sentences. that is 6 to 12 sentences long total. So those are numbers. Those are designed to make grading fair. So please be aware that I'm going to count sentences in your intro paragraph, and you need a minimum of 6. So include a minimum of 6. The thesis must contain a limited topic, an argument, and an explanation, and be 1 to 2 sentences long. 2 body paragraphs minimum, each with 8 to 12 sentences, properly structured. Write topic and concluding sentences. Use 2 quotes per body paragraph to provide evidence. Introduce and cite your quotes and evidence. In-text citations are required on every quote, even if the author is clear. Use the last name of this person quoted in the in-text citation. For every 1 sentence of summary or quote, include at least 2 sentences of analysis. So you'll want to review that lecture before you write that, okay? You may want to offer effects of the problem to prove the problem is indeed a problem. A concluding paragraph of 6 to 12 sentences with a developed concluding strategy and a thesis that has been restated uses different words, right? The essay must be 4 paragraphs typed and double-spaced in Mla format. It must maintain formal academic tone, and please include a works cited page. So, essay structure. This essay needs 2 body paragraphs. Make a plan before you begin. What will you write in each one? You can use method 1, write using the quotes you have. Since each paragraph needs 2 quotes, write 1 paragraph using quotes from one neighbor and another paragraph using quotes from another neighbor. Method 2, write using different sources. Use quotes from interviews with your neighbors in the first body paragraph and quotes from newspaper articles in the second. Method 3, write according to the characteristics of the problem. Does your problem have 2 different characteristics or effects? Use quotes about 1 characteristic or effect in the first body paragraph and quotes about a different characteristic or effect in the second. Method 4, does another logical order work better? Use that one. Okay, so it's up to you, whatever works best for your individual topic. I also give you a section in here on using quotes. A quote must be introduced and give a parenthetical or in-text citation. Be sure to properly punctuate. So for an in-text citation for a personal interview, you're going to include the last name of the person who was interviewed. So if I interviewed my neighbor, Mrs. Myers, after her quote, whatever she said, I'm going to put a parentheses, her last name, and parentheses, then period. And you can see that here. Oops. My neighbor says that, quote, litter is a big problem in the neighborhood, end quote, Myers, period. And then on the works cited page, this is what you'll write. The person's last name, first name, period, the words personal interview, period, and the date. Please note the MLA date structure, 5 August 2022. And in this example, Becky Ramirez is the person interviewed, right, that I talked to. For other sources, the in-text citation gives the author's last name and page number. If there's no author, use the title. If there's no page number, skip the page number. Cite any evidence you get from an outside source. Each sentence that contains information must have its own in-text parenthetical citation. So here are examples. Now there is some argument about if you use one person's name in the intro material, then you don't need it in the in-text citation, and that is true. That is true for us. However, the problem is if you do that and you don't have a page number, there's nothing to put in that in-text citation. It just becomes like sort of an empty thing. And since you're required in this class to do it, to prove you know how, you're required to do an in-text citation. So leave the names out of the intro material and just keep them here in the in-text citation. All right? Important, since this essay is about a problem that affects you, it's okay to use the first person pronoun I, like, I find that litter interferes with quality of life in my neighborhood. However, avoid weak phrasing, like I believe, I think, maybe, I don't know, in my opinion. Instead, just state the idea as if it were fact. Down here I talk about Mla Format and tell you all about how the page should be laid out and what font you should use. And I give you a sample as well, all right? Follow those instructions there. I hope this has been helpful. Message me in Canvas inbox if you have any questions. Bye.